All right, you're good.
What's up and welcome to the Eephus episode 30, the big 3-0. We're
Big
a
time.
we're a third of the way to 90, which is close to 100. So we're almost there. We're chugging along. Another week of baseball in the books. I'm Justin Ledger, and I'm joined by Zach Hummel. Zach, how's it going?
It's going well, man. We're starting to see teams that started out hot struggle a bit, and we're seeing
Yep.
teams that start out struggling to heat up a little bit. So it's interesting to see the juxtaposition at this point of the season.
Oh, yeah. This is when it gets really interesting. I've said it a million times, but I'll say it again. End of June into July, close to the All-Star break, shit gets weird. First of all, not only do you have everyone kind of like some teams struggling, some teams heating up, that juxtaposition, as you were just referring to, along with the All-Star break, along with trade talks kind of heating up. We saw one minor little trade today. I don't even know how to say it. Adani Hechavarria. I don't even know how to say his name, but he was traded to the Rays today earlier. Nice defensive guy for the Rays, shortstop. So that happened. We're seeing a lot of Sonny Gray's name is popping up in trade talks now. Like he's back. I mean, of course he is because he's in trade talks every single year. So yeah, it's that time of year.
Yeah, and the Red Sox are picking up Doug Fister and Johnny Peralta off the fucking garbage heap because they have so many like issues on the field. So yeah, it's like those kind of guys who haven't been on a team all year are getting picked up too. I mean, everyone's desperate for talent.
Then they got speaking of Peralta and Fister, put it this way: the Red Sox are trotting out Zywei Linner. I don't even know how to say his name. It's some random Asian guy I've never seen in my life, but he's playing third base. He made a great play yesterday. I had to get that out there because I think that's flying a little under the radar right now.
Dude, I was at the golf tournament in Hartford yesterday. I get home, I check the Red Sox loss to the Angels. I'm like, fuck, that's a bad loss. And I see this name in the lineup I've never seen before. I'm like, did they just sign this guy from Taiwan or something? Like, who is this?
I turned on the Red Sox Angels game last night around like literally right before. He made like a nice barehanded stop at third base and threw it right over to first, like it was routine. And I'm like, where has this guy been? What the hell? Like, who is that? It's like they just signed some Asian kid off the streets and please play third base for us. But hey, please keep that up because that's what the Red Sox need at third base right now. I like Marrero though. Whether they'll make a move for Moustakas or guy like Todd Frazier, I really hope not Frazier, but guy like Moustakas at the deadline remains to be seen. But I don't know. There's going to be a lot of stories in the next month or so that are going to be pretty. I think it's going to be a really crazy trade deadline, put it that way.
Yeah, you got to keep your ear to the ground because, like, when you just said the Echevarria thing, that's the first time I'm hearing about it. So, like, deals like that go under the radar. Yeah. And probably tonight I'd see Echevarria on the Rays. I'm like, what the fuck happened there? I didn't even see it. So
yeah, that's the MLB trade mill for you. Like, that's how things are in MLB. Like, those little trades kind of squeak by, and you're like, what just happened? So we'll move on to our favorite stories from the past week. I think we're going to have some more exciting favorite stories coming up in the coming weeks. But for now, we got ours. I will go first with mine. Earlier in the week, Jared Dyson of the Mariners, he breaks up Justin Verlander's perfect game with a bunt. Didn't hate the move. Bottom of the sixth inning, Verlander's pitch count's getting up there. You're only down 4-0. I think you can make an exception in this specific instance, where a bunt isn't that big of a deal breaking up a perfect game. I wanted to know your perspective.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, if it was in the 8th or 9th, I kind of feel differently about it. But since it's so early in the game, it's like you're not really I mean, you're thinking about it a little bit, but, once you get to the 7th, 8th, you're thinking about the no-hitter actually happening. So I had no problem with Dyson. Plus, he's a wicked fast guy, so he bunts it on base all the time. Yeah, and I dislike Verlander, so I'm glad he kind of got it broken up that way.
True. And I think there was an instance, I want to say it was 2 years ago. I might be a little off on that. Eric Ibar did a kind of similar thing to Verlander in like I think it was the 8th inning. That's kind of the cutoff. Once you start getting to the 8th, the last couple innings, it's like, what the hell are you doing? That's kind of Bush League move. But 6th inning, I have no problem with it. And Verlander didn't have a problem with it either, so no one should.
Yeah, like, I don't know. If you don't want him to butt on you, field your position. Like,
exactly.
I don't know.
And he tried. He missed it, and then the guy got on base. So whatever. All right. So what was your favorite story for the past week?
Yeah, so my story, I guess it's not really a weekly story, but it's like a trend that we're seeing in baseball. I mean, this year there's been so many home runs. Like we're on pace for, I think it's over 500. We're on pace for over 500 to the second home run season. Like in 2000, at this point, they were on pace for 5,693, and then this season it's on pace for 161, which is outrageous, especially now that no one's doing steroids anymore. I'm guessing, quote unquote.
Right.
So I was curious, what do you think is like the issue really driving this? Are they working the balls up? Are guys like, there's obviously more strikeouts? Is it because guys throw harder? I don't know what it is, but the home runs this year are just flying out of the ballpark, like astronomically more than any other season.
I'd be lying if I said I knew what the hell was going on. A lot of pitchers seem to think there's something different with the ball this season. I've seen that report a few times where pitchers are saying they think the balls are juiced, quote unquote. So that's an interesting theory. I have no idea. It's not like I've felt one baseball as opposed to another. I really studied it, so I can't really back that claim up. But I don't know. If I had to guess like one specific reason, it would be hitters are more aggressive this season, whatever. Like maybe there's like you're seeing up and comers like Cody Bellinger, Aaron Judge. They're up there to hit homers. Other guys, there's plenty of other guys in the league who step up to the plate, and when they step up to the plate, they think I'm hitting a home run. So I don't know if there's like an influx of those types of players or what, but I mean it's astounding, like you said, how many home runs there have been this year.
Yeah, I think it's like a myriad of factors. Like you said, people are talking about the seams on the ball are lower than in previous seasons, so the guys can't get the grip on it. So I mean, you could go down a rabbit hole like discussing all that. I think it's like what you said, twofold. These players are coming up, and to be honest, they're better hitters than other people used to be. They're hitting the ball out of the ballpark, opposite field, deep center, everywhere.
Eric Thames is another one. You watch that guy hit. I mean, you expect him to hit a home run. He hits opposite field homers like it's routine. So that's another reason. You're seeing guys, these guys who like Thames, like Bellinger, like Judge, they step up, and there's a very good chance they're hitting an opposite field bomb. But then you got guys like Scooter Gennett coming in and hitting 4 homers in a game. It makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like these guys are having opposite field power that, they're not just hitting it barely out. They're really driving the ball the opposite field. And I think it's what you said too. Guys are getting the green light on 3-0 a lot more than they used to, which is like that's a count for a pitcher where they just throw a dick fastball in there and just try to get a strike. And now guys are taking it out of the ballpark. And I'd have to look this up, but like I feel like guys are swinging at the first pitch more. Just that's a pitch that usually the pitchers try to get just a fastball over the plate to get up in the count. And I think guys are taking advantage of it now. So I don't know any data behind it, but I think those are two things I'm seeing when I'm watching games that could be, adding to the issue.
Yep, I think it's just hitters are more aggressive. We're also seeing a different strategy, offensive strategy, power guys getting put in the leadoff spot, very first pitch of the game or one of the first couple pitches of the game where a pitcher's not really all the way warmed up yet. Guys like Springer and Rizzo are hitting absolute shots. So that kind of, I know that's probably not making a huge dent on the home run numbers, but I'm just saying a lot of factors such as that one add up, and that adds up the home run numbers in the end.
Yeah, those guys are getting more at bats. Like, for example, the D-backs today, they had some random guy hitting leadoff and he hit a home run.
Yeah.
Like, just insane how that happens. Like almost every day.
It's crazy. One of those many home runs came this past week with Yasiel Puig hitting a dinger against the Mets. And the Mets weren't too happy with the way Puig treated it, but I don't know why they were so surprised. This is what Yasiel Puig does. He showboats. The league needs to just get used to it. Everyone needs to get over it. The Mets are a joke to begin with. If you don't like it, don't let up the home run. I think it was Travis d'Arnaud was the catcher at the time, and he said a little something to Puig, and then Wilmer Flores cried about it like the little crybaby he is. So just I think Jose Reyes and Cespedes talked to Puig afterwards, pulled him aside and had a chat with him. I really hope Cespedes wasn't saying don't do that, because Cespedes does that for everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like I want more of that in baseball. Like if you give up a home run, like the guy should be able to do whatever he wants around the base.
Exactly.
It's so hard to do. Puig obviously is known for that. The Mets, this is just sour grapes on their part. Like Wilmer Flores said after the game, like he's trying to push it in our face that we're losing. It's like, all right, well, just don't give up a home run then.
Then don't suck.
Yeah, just don't suck. I thought it was good though how Cespedes and Reyes kind of spoke to him. Like I have no idea what they said, but I think if anyone does has an issue, handling it that way rather than like keeping it under the rug and like guys start getting hit on, separate teams. Just have the veterans on the same team or the opposing team just go up to the guy and be like, let's cool it on that. I mean, I don't agree with it, but that's how they should handle it if they do decide they want to do something.
Right. Yeah, I've always hated that though. I think enough time has passed with guys like Puig, Cespedes, whoever, showboating their home runs. Bautista, another one. A bunch of these guys are showboating, and it's not like that's going away. So either one, deal with it like you said by just talking about it on the side, being like, look, we would really appreciate if you just didn't do that, and having your own discussion about it and sorting it out that way rather than crying about it on the base paths when the guy's running around. Like, there's enough time has passed where we should have some sort of solution for guys who showboat because it's not going away, and I hope it doesn't go away.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest showboaters, Carlos Gomez from the Rangers.
Another one, yeah.
Oh my God, he is the cock of the walk when
he's good at it too. He's good at showboating.
He's perfected it, and like as a fan's perspective, I love to see that.
Yeah.
Like I love it. So I hope it keeps going on, but I hope they kind of take out any physicality that comes out of it because it's just have a conversation with the guy.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I agree 100%. Little note off of this: Puig, while he might have taken a long time to round the bases, your boy, an ex-dud of the week, Adam Rosales, took 15 seconds to round the bases. That guy ran faster around the bases on his home run than I think I could ever run around the bases trying.
Yeah, Adam Hustle, dude. Adam Hustle. And
yeah.
It's funny because he's stolen he's got probably an 8 or 9 year MLB career. He's stolen 6 bases. So it's
that's actually crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think that's the right number. I heard it today. It's like it's not even that he's fast. It's just that everyone else cocks around the bases and he
actually hustles. Hey, props to him. He might be a when you're hot soon. So we'll move on to. We mentioned before a lot of teams scuffling now out of nowhere. A lot of teams surprisingly in the lead. A lot of teams on winning streaks, so on. We'll start with a scuffling team, the Yankees. We talked about it last week, too. They went out west. They struggled, and they still aren't looking all that great.
Yeah, I mean, they're 2-8 in their last 10 games, and they haven't been playing great. They've played the Angels and the Rangers at home, who both, have pretty bad pitching and are not great teams. They're 500 teams, and the Yankees – their starting rotation is decimated. Like their pitching is absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, their offense has struggled a bit too. But the thing is, like they're still tied for first with the Red Sox. So the Red Sox didn't take advantage of it, and it's going to end.
Red Sox have looked wildly mediocre in the past week. So they really haven't, like you said, taken advantage of the Yankees struggling, which is unfortunate because I feel like I say this every podcast. That rotation was bound to falter at some point. Tanaka, God knows what's going on with that guy. Severino, he's one of those guys who, I mean, the potential's there, and he's been probably their best starting pitcher so far this season, but he's not the guy you're going to rely on every fifth day, and they need that guy.
Dude, they have no consistency. Like, Pineda has a great start. Like, he goes 10 strikeouts, gives up no runs, and then he gets shelled at the next. Same with Severino. Like, they're one good start, one bad start, and you can't have that. You can't have that when you're trying to win first place, especially in the AL East.
Yeah, good offense only takes you so far when you have a shitty pitching staff. That's just a fact. Every year we see it. A team that's actually going the opposite way of the Yankees right now is the Minnesota Twins. If you told me that the Minnesota Twins would be in first place, what's today, June 26th?
Yeah.
First place, June 26th, I might have punched you in the face. Like that might be the weirdest storyline of the season is how well the Twins are doing and how well they're holding up in that AL Central.
Oh, for sure. And the crazier thing is, like, if you look at their splits, so they just went into Cleveland and swept the Indians, who were playing unreal before that.
No big deal. The team that's in their division was the runner-up for the World Series last year. They just swept them.
And I think
the Minnesota Twins.
They shut them out in 2 of the games, too, and Cleveland has, like, an unreal offense. There's no breadth in that lineup.
Right.
The crazy thing is the Twins on the road are 23-9, and at home they're 16-25. The Twins' road team is insane. Like, they've only lost 9 games on the road this year, which is this team is just like, I can't even explain it. I had them in the cellar to start the year. I would have taken every team in their division over them.
Absolutely.
Right now they're in first place, and it looks like they have some staying power. I almost am starting to believe in the Minnesota Twins.
How about the Astros and the Twins being your two best road teams so far this year? The Astros, the juggernaut Astros, and the little Minnesota Twins. That's crazy. That's an unreal stat.
Yeah, for sure.
The Rockies are struggling, man. Not the best week for the Rockies. Meanwhile, we got the Dodgers winning 10 straight. The game last night between the Dodgers, by the time this is posted, it'll be 2 nights ago, but between the Dodgers and Rockies, I don't even know how many wild pitches there were on both sides. I don't know what was going. That game was on crack. As Stephen A. Smith would say, that game was on crack. I can't even do it as well as him, but that sums up that game. Greg Holland let up a fucking RBI double to Kenley Jansen. That was his first career RBI. So that sums up how the game went. But the Dodgers got the best of the Rockies, and, that's kind of – we're seeing the NL West. It's getting a little weird in there. You got the Dodgers surging. You got Diamondbacks second now. Rockies still a close third, but they're in third. So that's the state of the NL West right now.
Yeah, I feel like these teams are going to be trading off all year. And I didn't know Kenley Jansen was a left-handed batter. Like, who knew that? He throws like 99, but he hits lefty. It's like, okay, I have no idea.
Fair enough, Kenley Jansen. Actually, Kenley Jansen came into the league as a catcher. So I wasn't really shocked that he could hit the ball. It was just the fact that went along with, all the other shit that went down in that game. It's like, all right, this game is drunk.
He came in as a catcher. He's like 6'5". That's unreal.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that. Yeah, so the Dodgers have this kind of team that's really streaky. Everyone on their team, their lineup is streaky as hell, and their pitching staff is streaky as hell too. Like Alex Wood's been unreal for them this year. Yep. Alex Wood, who was terrible last year.
Huge surprise.
Yeah, and it's just like the Twins swept the Indians. The Dodgers had Colorado come in, and they just swept them. So it's really these teams are starting to put their flags down, make statements in their division, which is great to see at this start of the season. It's starting to get good. The rivalries are starting to go. And in that game you talked about, I think the Dodgers scored 5 runs without a ball being put in play. It was just wild pitch after wild pitch. Yeah. Out of Viano. It was just
him and Brandon McCarthy simply couldn't even throw the ball anywhere close to the plate last night. It was insane. I don't really know what the hell was going on with there, but let's just say I hope our Rockies figure it out. That's all I'm really hoping right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they've been one of the most fun teams to watch. Not the best team to watch, but the most fun. Just everything that's come with the Rockies this year has been fun. So if it fades away, that's going to be a shame. That's pretty much the way I look at that.
The good thing is they're playing San Francisco tonight. They're starting a series with them, so those are wins.
Their schedule actually looks pretty weak coming up. I think they only have one series with in the next few weeks with a team that's 500 or above, and that's against the Diamondbacks. So all the other teams they're facing in the near future are sub 500. So this is the time to capitalize if you're on the Colorado Rockies. As for the Dodgers, Cody Bellinger, we mentioned. We don't need to go too far into it because everybody knows how much Cody Bellinger is mashing right now, but he has to be mentioned on this podcast because he's doing some things that I have never seen players do in my lifetime. And, that's self-explanatory with, the fact that he's the fastest rookie ever to hit the amount of homers, I think 24 homers in, I want to say 57 games. That's insane. So Cody Bellinger, not a guy you would ever expect to be mashing home runs like this. He's doing it. So,
yeah, this guy is unreal. I think we were onto him a little before other people. We had him in our when you're hot, because he came up and just almost had Trevor Story numbers last year, just hitting home runs.
Yeah,
it's so funny because his dad played in the major leagues, and his dad was a career 190 hitter with 12 home runs and 35 RBIs in 4 seasons.
Do you think Cody Bellinger ever said do you think he says to his dad "Hey, I hit more home runs in the past month than you did in your entire career"? How does that feel?
Yeah,
that's how I would be. That's just insane.
Yeah, he just cucks him. He's
yeah,
the dad can't tell him anything because his son's 12 times the player that he's in one season. He's outdone his whole career, which is unreal.
Crazy. That's just that sentence by itself is crazy. But Bellinger doing some crazy things this season. I think it's time to formally apologize for saying that Kyle Freeland would be the NL Rookie of the Year over Cody Bellinger. So that was something I said a few episodes ago. I think it's time for a formal apology there. One more thing on Bellinger before we move on to the next thing that kind of involves Bellinger as well. I just wrote an article. This guy from Sporting News says everyone needs to calm down about Bellinger and Judge's success this year because they probably won't reach the 50 home run mark. I wrote an article so fast responding to it, basically saying all his argument was trash. That's just like some old guy being like, everyone stop being excited about the MLB being fun. Like we need guys like Bellinger and Judge to exist. If we want MLB to become bigger than what it is right now, we need to be able to market MLB's players. These two players are perfect for that right now. Stop trying to fucking squander it with your shitty articles about not being excited and just enjoy it. I don't get why that's so hard for people. Why can't you just sit back and enjoy it?
Yeah, it's like these guys, like you're in the dog days of the MLB season. They're trying to figure out something to write other than like, oh, this guy's unreal or this guy's having a good season. So they're trying to get clicks. I mean, that's like terrible. These guys, these baseball writers don't understand. Like if baseball goes down in popularity, like their jobs are going to get cut, and they don't get it. They literally don't get it, which is insane.
It's stupid. I don't care how many articles you write about it not being exciting. You're taking away, like, I don't care if you have to meet some sort of deadline for your job. Pick a different article to write. Don't write about how, like, we shouldn't be excited about two of the game's most exciting players. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like yesterday I was at the Travelers and Jordan Spieth, like, hit a chip in to win. And there was some golf hardos that were like, oh, he shouldn't have, like, celebrated and thrown his club. It's like, people want it. Like, that's what young fans want to see, like, celebratory young stars. Like, let them be them.
Right.
And don't poo-poo on them when they do something unreal.
Yeah. If Aaron Judge backflips and watches his home run Game 7 of the ALCS this year, there's going to be people who judge him. Wow, play on words there. Judge him for that. I caught myself there. But no, there's going to be people who look down on him for pimping a home run in that moment. And that infuriates me. That's why baseball is not making any progress in that category. I think with guys like this, the more the merrier. Bellinger, Benintendi, Judge, guys like this, these young studs doing this well early in their career. I mean, if this pace keeps up with these guys, MLB is going to succeed in reaching the younger demographic, and they're going to get past the struggle that they're in right now.
And it's like they're good, and they're also on LA and New York teams, which are two of your biggest markets. Like if they were playing in freaking Milwaukee, like who would care? But these guys are like in the hub.
Yeah, that's why Eric Thames fell off the face of the earth, and now we're talking about these two guys in these markets, Judge and Bellinger. Speaking of Judge, Bellinger, and Benintendi, we got a fan question. So before we get into this, I want to say on Twitter, you got to follow us at Eephus Pod. That's where you can contact us, ask us any question, any discussion you want to have. We will have it right on this very podcast. We got a question. Marry, fuck, kill. Baseball skills, of course. We'll probably get into the other version of it after, but baseball skills, marry, fuck, kill. Cody Bellinger, Andrew Benintendi, Aaron Judge. You go first.
This is like extremely tough because they're all really good. I'm going to kill Benintendi. It pains me as a Red Sox fan, but I think his upside is lower than the other two guys. I think Bellinger is an underrated defender. He makes great catches too. And he's
made one last night. That was outstanding.
Yeah, he's got more. It seems like he's got more pop than Benintendi. So I would probably fuck Judge because I think he could go through some like rough patches as well, just because he swings at bad pitches a lot. Bellinger, I think, has the whole package. I would marry him. He's going to be in the league for like 15 years, be like a 30 and 100, 30 home runs, 100 RBI guy. I think he's got staying power with this swing.
Yeah, I mean, Dodgers' future looks pretty bright with guys like Seager and Bellinger, those two young guys in the lineup for the long haul. Yeah, sign me up for that. My marry, fuck, kill, I'm killing Benintendi too. I don't want to do it. I didn't want to do it, but both of us Red Sox fans have to kill Benintendi when it comes to baseball skills out of these three. So I'm going to switch it on you here. I'm marrying – hold on, which one am I marrying? Yeah, marrying Judge. I just think Judge is going to be better long-term than Bellinger. Of course, I doubted Bellinger's long-term ability once when I picked Freeland over him for Rookie of the Year. Who knows? He could prove me wrong twice, but I'm marrying Judge, and I'm fucking Bellinger right now because he is hot right now.
He's hot.
I'm fucking Bellinger hard right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, real hard. How's that for a sound grab right there? I'm fucking Bellinger really hard right now. So yeah, that's why I marry, fuck, kill for that. If everyone looks, you're marrying Benintendi all day. You'll probably fuck Judge because guy's huge, and Cody
I don't know if I feel the same way. Judge is
Cody Bellinger, you kill. That guy's a nerd.
Is he a nerd?
He looks like a nerd.
All right, I'll go with that.
Yeah. All right. So that's that. You got both answers there. We got another little question here. Who has the best swing in baseball right this moment? Now, if you're talking all time, you can go down the list. Griffey's probably at the top of that list. But right now, today, 2017, who has the best swing? Not the best hitter, just the best swing in baseball right now.
Yeah, I have a list of 3 guys, and it's probably not who everyone thinks best swing, but I love watching these guys hit. I think they have there's no hole in their swing. My first guy is Jonathan Scope from the Orioles. I think he has the sweetest swing in MLB.
That's an interesting pick, but I like it.
Scope, he just one-handed, just releases it. It looks great. When he hits a home run, you know it. It's just perfect. Even if it's versus the Red Sox, I'll be like, oh, that's a nice swing. That's a bomb. Right. That's a nice swing. I have Jose Ramirez from the Indians. I just these little lefties that just keep hitting doubles down the line. I think that's so underrated. I think he can hit it. True. He's a switch hitter. He can hit it to all parts of the field. He doesn't have a hole in his swing, and he's great to watch because he always makes good contact. And then my other guy is Jose Altuve. I mean, he's got the Pablo Sanchez swing. He just lifts his leg and just swings as hard as he can, and it ends up all over the ballpark. And he's a high average guy. So those are my 3 guys that came to mind. I'm like, oh, I would love to see those guys hit, and their swings are awesome.
I like those picks. Those are definitely more, I guess, under the radar than my picks. My picks are more high-profile guys. My number 1 is Robinson Cano. I know he's kind of lost a step in the past couple of years, but Robinson Cano he has the smoothest swing by far out of any other pro. Watching that guy hit is beautiful. My second guy who might have the overall just best swing when it comes to contact power, you name it, it's Buster Posey. Buster Posey, when he swings the bat, it's a sight to see. And my third guy is someone who I've enjoyed watching. He plays in the Red Sox division, so we see a lot of him. Evan Longoria. Evan Longoria is another one of those guys. When he swings, it's just the second he makes contact, you're like, ooh, that looked great. He's just one of those types of guys. So those are my 3, Cano, Posey, and Longoria.
Those guys your list is – all those guys make it look so easy, just effortless swings. Longoria will just throw his bat out there and hit home runs, and same with Posey. It's just all controlled. And Cano's the perfect open stance. If you're playing wiffle ball or something, you just open your stance up and just go with it.
A little crazy story about Posey. I wouldn't say crazy is the right word, but just a little story about Posey here. His first ever hit, I was watching the game live. I still remember to this day, his first career MLB hit. I saw it happen, and it was a base hit right up the middle, and I specifically remember thinking, wow, that guy's going to have a bright future in the major leagues. That was a really, really nice swing. Sure enough, Posey's done all right for himself. So there's that. Those are the best swings. Now we'll move on to under-the-radar players so far this season, guys who aren't really getting enough attention, guys who have the talent, might not be a household name yet, but you should keep an eye on.
Yeah, so I had 3 guys. My first guy, I think people know about him, but it's just that he gets overshadowed by other people in his lineup. It's Anthony Rendon from the Nationals.
It's a good pick.
He's hitting 290, 14 home runs. He's first in WAR for third basemen, which is unreal because he doesn't get talked about in that Nationals order when you have Murphy, Zimmerman, Harper, Trey Turner. And he's really the guy that has some of the best numbers on his team. He plays a great third base too. My second guy is Ender Inciarte from the Braves.
I almost picked him. That's an honorable mention for me, but yeah.
People have to wake up to the Braves. They have they have a pretty good team, especially when they get Freeman back. That's a fun team to watch in that new ballpark. He's top 5 in WAR for center fielders, which is a deep class. I mean, he's hitting over 300.
His defense, we talk about guys like Kiermaier, Ender Inciarte is right up there. I mean, he's
for sure.
You can make an argument he's the best defender. Maybe not Kiermaier level, but Eric Pilar, like those are two guys who are always going to be considered world-class defenders. But Ender Inciarte is not far behind.
Yeah, he makes all the plays. Like Kiermaier will make like plays you don't expect, but Inciarte will make every play you want your center fielder to make. And he's got a low strikeout percentage too. He's a leadoff hitter for the Braves. His K percentage is 14, which is wicked low. And I just think he's a great player that not many people talk about. My third guy, this guy plays on the Phillies, so no one cares or knows about him. Aaron Altair.
Okay.
I mean, he's hitting 285, 12 homers, 39 RBIs. He's top 15 in WAR for right fielders. I think you're going to hear more about this guy in the future. I think the Phillies could even trade him and get a big haul in the trade deadline. But he's a young guy who's up and coming, so keep your eye on Aaron Altair as well.
Good picks. I'll start with my first one from the Tampa Bay Rays. Hasn't played in a ton of games this year, but I love guys like him. Malik Smith, speedster, really, really talented player. I always compare him to Billy Hamilton, except it's Billy Hamilton if Billy Hamilton could actually handle the bat too. Yeah. So Malik Smith is my number one guy.
He's got some pop too.
He does have some pop. Yeah, pop. Yeah. He's hitting like 280, right? I know it's in limited games, but if you can keep that at a consistent level with the speed that he has, that's a threat. My second guy, someone who's been around for a little while now, but again, he's one of these guys who doesn't get enough clout compared to the other players on the roster. Marcell Ozuna. Look for him to possibly be on the trading block this year. Marlins, if they're going to sell, they could probably sell guys like him. They already sent away a Danny Heck of whatever the fuck his last name is. So Ozuna, you never know if he could be on the move as well. And if they're moving the Marlins, look for a blockbuster deal there because that's what would need to happen in order to acquire Ozuna. My number 3 guy, another guy, pronouncing names, not my thing this episode, Raisel Iglesias from the Reds. Just a versatile pitcher. I mean, he can start, he can close. I think he's their closer. He's their guy closing right now, but he's on the Reds. So we don't really hear about him that much, but he's not getting enough attention for what he's doing this season. I mean, we have guys like Craig Kimbrell, Kenley Jansen, Greg Holland. You can list off the big name closers, but Iglesias deserves almost as much attention as those guys.
Yeah, Iglesias, he was a starter for them, and he didn't have the energy to do it. Like he just couldn't keep his miles per hour, and they moved him to closer, and he throws like 98, and he's unhittable.
Yeah, it's so weird. I don't really understand how that all works, but hey, it's great. It's great to see guys like Iglesias who came into the league as one of the biggest potential breakout players, and he's finally living up to those standards. So all 3 of those guys are guys everybody should keep in mind in the coming years. We're going to move on to someone who's kind of going the opposite way. Kyle Schwarber, I think he was the dud of the week last week. So sent down to AAA. Not the greatest sign for Schwarber. He was hitting like 190 or something around there. And that's never going to fly in the major leagues. Doesn't matter how many home runs you hit. If you're hitting below the Mendoza line, you're going to get sent down. So Kyle Schwarber, a fan favorite, sent to AAA. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I drafted him in fantasy this year. I think he was going to have like an unreal year, coming off the World Series and everything. Obviously, he was injured for most of last year, but he's for the Cubs to send him down, that's like the Red Sox almost sending down like Bradley or Benintendi. Those guys are fan favorites that people love. They'll come to the ballpark to see them play, and that just tells you how much he's been struggling. That they'll send him down. I mean, I hope he figures it out down at AAA and comes back up because. Talk about sweet swings. I mean, when he gets a hold of one, it's nothing like that from Schwarber.
All I could think when he got sent down was some fucking article I read where they said Kyle Schwarber was like the second coming of Babe Ruth. And then I almost put screenshots side by side of that with the announcement that he was sent down to AAA. It was bound to happen. The guy was hitting 180 all year. What does he have? 15, 20 homers this year? It doesn't matter. When you're hitting 180, it doesn't matter. So comparing a guy to Babe Ruth when he's hitting 180 is that's a hot take.
One thing about Epstein too, he doesn't care if you're not performing. He'll make a move quickly. He never is one to just let you stay around because you're a fan favorite.
Yeah, and I respect that. That's how it should be. You shouldn't hesitate. If a guy's not performing, if he's giving you negative production, then they deserve to be sent down or DFA'd, whatever. I think MLB, a lot of GMs Dombrowski is one of those guys. They fail to see the realistic, like, what's going on. They fail to see it. They know, they see the player's name and they think, oh, they'll be fine. But they're not looking at the actual production. So Epstein, the reason he's so successful, one of the many reasons, is because he sees what he sees and he believes in what he believes in. He sends Schwarber down. He'll figure it out eventually. He'll be back. But for now, he's going to be in AAA, and they're going to put a guy in to replace that's going to give them, hopefully, positive production. So that's that. Tebow getting sent up. So going the opposite way of Schwarber here. Just Tebow update, Tebow watch. Very smart move, I will say, by the Mets, though, because now they can officially make their money off Tebow. Because the team that he was brought up to, St. Lucie, is owned by the Mets. The Columbia Fireflies are not owned by the Mets. Therefore, they cannot profit off of Tim Tebow as long as he's with the Fireflies. But apparently that 220 average was good enough to get him promoted. So there's Tebow.
I mean, this is literally a money grab from the Mets. Like, that's all this is. They're gonna parade him from single A to double A to triple A and just like reap the rewards from their teams. I mean, I feel bad for the guys on the Fireflies who are actually playing well.
I think
he's not even close to like at the top of their team in any category. And these guys are like grinding, getting paid like almost nothing. And Tebow's getting called up because he can draw people to the ballpark. It's so Tim Tebow and it's so the Mets. Like, they're almost like a marriage.
It's insane. The Mets are perfect for Tim Tebow. It's just the story itself. It doesn't even seem real. It seems like an Onion article, honestly. But maybe we were saying before, there were rumors, there were rumblings that Tebow would be sent up to double A. This isn't double A. This is just advanced A ball. So he still has a little bit of progress that needs to be made to get to double A. I'm very interested to see if there's a big discrepancy in his stats from low A to advanced A. I don't know how much better the competition is, but I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out soon enough. We haven't heard the last of him. Well, that's for sure. So
the Mets just proved like his stats don't matter. Like, they're gonna bring him up no matter what, because he was hitting 220, like you said. So it's like, doesn't really matter. Like, he'll get called up anyways.
It's incredible. Tim Tebow just doing Tim Tebow things once again. All right, so we'll move on to our segments here. We'll start off, as always, with our duds of the week. I'll go first with mine. Homer fucking Bailey.
He's back, baby.
He's back. Almost put him as my don't call it a comeback, but I couldn't. He's just a flat-out dud. His season debut did not go very well. The Reds fell to, I don't even know who they were facing. Who was the Pirates? I don't even remember. Giants? I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Whatever. Whoever it was, the Reds lost 18-2. So that's how Homer
Nationals. It was the Nationals, yeah.
Well, that's how Homer Bailey's debut went. So dud of the week, Homer Bailey, that's pretty self-explanatory. When you lose 18-2 in your season debut, you're going to be on dud of the week 10 times out of 10.
It's so funny because I think he didn't make it out of like the second inning. Like,
right.
He blew up 8 runs, and then they scored 10 runs after that. So, I mean, he was out of the game, but they were still thinking he was in the game and just killing every pitcher after him. Such a dud. My dud. It pains me to say this because this guy landed the punch heard around the baseball world last year. But Rougned Odor, I mean,
struggling, man.
He's on a struggle bus, like big time. And I was shocked to see he's 23 years old. I pegged him as like, I thought he was like 30 the way he looks. He looks like he's been in the wars.
He does.
He's got wrinkles all over his face. Like,
he's forget that.
30. Yeah, people forget that. I mean, he hit 100, like 100 this past week. I mean, this guy, the Rangers might need to make a move here. I mean, he does have some pop. He plays a decent second base, but like you said with Schwarber, if you're just not producing, you got to get replaced. Like, honestly.
Do you even, if you're the Rangers, I don't know if this I haven't seen like any articles about this or anything, so this could be a very hot take. Do you consider trading Odor right now? Like, his value can only like go lower at this point. His value is still going to be high based off his name right now, but if he continues to hit 100, 150 each week, suddenly your trade value is no longer there. The Rangers probably aren't competing this year, so I don't know. He's one of those guys who I feel like it's like, why even hold on to him?
Yeah, I mean, people are always looking for power at second base, and he does have that. It's just that he can't hit for average, and he strikes out every at bat. Like, that's just the downside to him.
Yeah, he's just not very good. That's pretty much what it comes down to. I remember Tony Maserati, a local guy here, for those of you who don't live in Boston who are listening. Last season, he said, "Why isn't there more talk about Rougned Odor for the MVP conversation?" That's a guy. I mean, Maz to say that. I know he's a guy who stirs the pot a little bit, like he likes being controversial. But to say that, like all he did was look at the home runs. He didn't look at OPS. He didn't look at WAR, any of that. Because if he did, he would turn around that opinion very quickly. And we're seeing that translate into this season. It's power numbers. There's no really other stats behind it that you can make any sort of argument saying that Odor is good.
Wait, Tony Maserati didn't do research and had no points to back up his argument? That's shocking to me.
He sucks, Mike. He sucks. So yeah, that's my Maz impression. We'll move on to don't call it a comeback. You can go first for this.
All right, mine's pretty simple. Cole Hamels is pitching tonight for the Rangers, so he could him and Darvish, I mean, that's a great 1-2 combo.
It is great, but it's been great, though. It's been great, and it's like we keep saying, that's one of the best in baseball, and then it's just like, yeah, the rest of the team is so that it doesn't even matter.
I'm just happy to have him coming back. I mean, he's a good guy, and he's going to help the Rangers, win a couple more games because their pitching staff's decimated. So it's good to have just good pitchers back in the MLB. So Cole Hamels is back tonight. Check him out.
Yeah, I agree with that. Doug Fister is my don't call it a comeback. Actually did pretty well. I'm so glad I didn't. I almost sent out a tweet before the game just shitting on the fact that the Red Sox got Doug Fister in 2017, but I didn't do it, and then he had a good game. So Red Sox fans can thank me for that. But Doug Fister, what are your thoughts? Do you think he's actually going to be a contributor to the Red Sox this year? Like, what do you think is going to go down with him?
I mean, if he gave us what he gave us last game, I'd be happy with it. I don't expect anything more or less than him. Like, give us 6 innings, 2 runs, like 5 strikeouts. I'm fine with that because that's better than half what our starters are doing right now. David Price especially.
It can't get much worse than the other possible fill-ins that you would put in there. I will say that. Henry Owens, for example.
He just got sent down, right, to Double A?
I was just about to say that. Yeah, sent down to Double A. So, first off, you should have traded Henry Owens when you had the chance. Secondly, the fact that Doug Fister is the guy there and not our prized prospect, Henry Owens, that says all you need to know about how the Red Sox farm system looks right now.
Yeah, that was a great draft pick, Henry Owens. Jesus Christ.
I remember reading, it was one report a long time ago where it was Henry Owens is throwing a no-hitter for the Lowell Spinners right now. Keep an eye on this guy. Now, fast forward a few years later, he's getting sent down to Double A. I think he just had a start where he didn't strike out anyone, and he had 6 walks, and he allowed a few runs. So that's Henry Owens in a nutshell.
He's got the Daniel Bard thing. He just can't throw strikes. That's what it comes down to.
It sucks. It sucks if you're a Red Sox fan because we all thought Henry Owens was the next big thing, next Randy Johnson for the Red Sox. That didn't happen. Move on to when you're hot, to wrap things up. I will go first for this one. Another Red Sox, Mitch Moreland. This guy's playing through a broken toe. I don't know how much that really factors into when you play first base, you're not really moving around a ton. And he still has plenty of power because he hit homers in consecutive games this week. I guess just the fact that he's been one of the more consistent offensive weapons on the Red Sox this season in a year that they really needed him to step up, to be honest, because that offense has been pretty underwhelming from a power standpoint all season long. So yeah, Moreland, just not only from this past week, but this year overall, he's my when you're hot, you're hot.
Were they platooning him at first base? There was a couple games I didn't see him play. I'm like, this guy's their best hitter. Why isn't he in the lineup?
They must have been because there's no other excuse for sitting Moreland right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably been the Red Sox best hitter, and that's kind of where they stand right now. So they need a couple more guys to get hot there.
Yeah.
So my guy is Oswaldo Arcia. He's a shortstop for the Brewers, 22-year-old guy. Yep. He hit 400 this past week. I mean, we call Mitch Moreland Mitchie Two Bags. Oswaldo had 5 doubles this past week. So keep an eye on this guy. He's in that second tier of shortstops, below Correa, Story, a couple other guys, Seager, those guys. This guy's in that second tier that's starting to come up. And he just doesn't get the publicity because he plays for the Brewers. So keep an eye on Oswaldo Arcia. So
22 years old. That's crazy. The influx of young talent for baseball kind of just emerged out of nowhere. The young talent that's in the league right now is so good that, again, we're going to start seeing more and more home runs. We're going to start seeing more and more excitement, not only for the rest of the season, but for probably the next like 10, 15 years, we can expect this. I don't really know about like the future prospects, like the ones who are coming up now, whether they've been drafted this year, next year, whatever, but I'm sure they're going to be just as exciting as what we're watching right now. So baseball is fun right now. It really is. It's summer. So NBA just ended, NHL just ended. If you need something to watch, don't be afraid to tune into a nice 4.5 hour long baseball game.
Well, like tonight, like nothing's on, right? NBA awards, like who cares? NBA sucks.
No one gives a shit. Yeah.
Twins, Red Sox. You got Jose Barrios, who's been unreal for them. Like watch his wiffle ball slider, and you got Sale versus him. Like I'm gonna watch that because that's an unreal pitching matchup.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome to watch. I mean, I forgot about that. That was tonight. Barrios versus Sale. That's probably the past week. I knew like this matchup was possible. Barrios, you could put him in the under the radar category that we mentioned earlier, by the way, because this guy, it's whether you're a baseball fan or not, you got to watch this guy throw a breaking ball. You just have to. It's mind blowing what this guy can do with the baseball. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that tonight. Of course, this will be posted tomorrow, aka the day after this game happens. So, knowing my luck, this game's going to end 20-18 final score with the Twins winning and both pitchers with 15 earned runs. So that's pretty much it. Subscribe on iTunes. Leave us a nice review. Me saying that has not worked because we haven't got any reviews, but please just be nice and do that. Follow us on Twitter at Eephus Pod and like us on Facebook as always. Zach, you got anything else?
No, I think we covered all of it.
That we did. So we will see you guys later.
Peace.